I told you, man. I told you, don't fuck with me. I told you, no fucking kids. No, but you wouldn't listen. Well, you stupid fuck. Look at you now.
What's happening, guys? Supernova here, back with another video, and before I get into it, just want to let you guys know my Twitter account was suspended. Yes, again, Nova, yes, again, my Twitter account was suspended. So if you were previously following me on Twitter, I made a new account. You can follow me over at this account, at YoYoIt'sNova, and we'll see how long I can keep this one alive. But please go follow me on this new account. Now, I know it's been a while since I made a video, guys, and the reason for that is there wasn't anything going on I really felt like making a video about. There was no topics I really wanted to talk about. I honestly was planning on making a video this week regarding Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. No, I didn't play that game. No, I didn't review the game. I'm not going to play that game. I was going to make a video ranting about live services and how they're destroying this industry. But then the good Lord bestoweth upon us this these recent reports regarding Xbox, or rumors, I should say, rumors regarding Xbox. And although I don't really like to talk about rumors on this channel, I'm going to talk about this one because I feel that where there's smoke, there's fire. And I honestly think you couldn't find more smoke right now if you were hotboxing with Snoop Dogg in the middle of a fucking California wildfire, right? There's just way too many reports coming from way too many places and way too many people. And prominent Xbox guys are reporting that they've heard from people on the inside that this is what's happening, right? Like, it's not some PlayStation fanboys saying, hey, I know a motherfucker that knows a motherfucker that says this is what's going down, G. Right now, this is like prominent Xbox guys saying that they have sources on the inside that say this is what's going down. If it was a PlayStation fanboy or just PlayStation fanboy channel saying this shit, okay, right? Like, I can totally understand and see the reason why they would make some shit up like that for console war purposes, right? Got it. But where's the upside in this for an Xbox guy to do the same thing, right? Like, why would an Xbox guy or an Xbox channel come out with this information or report this information, like, just to report it, right? Like, why would they make this shit up? I can see PlayStation fanboys making this shit up for console war purposes. I don't see the benefit for an Xbox guy to make this shit up because it literally goes against all the shit that they have been saying for years, right? It literally is the exact opposite of the shit that they've been preaching for fucking years. So in order for them to be making this shit up, they'd literally be making up stories that annihilate their fucking narrative. I don't see the benefit of that for them. So, taking all that into consideration, and adding to that the fact that this is what I thought would happen years ago, right? Like, if you just looked at this with common sense, it's clear that this is always what was going to happen, right? Like, the very second that they moved away from the business model of sell consoles, then sell games on those consoles, to create subservice, and then increase the number of subscribers in that service. Like, the second that happened, it was clear that this was always going to happen. And now Xbox fanboys are having fucking meltdowns all over the internet, losing their minds, because A, they refuse to listen, and B, they chose to look at things emotionally rather than rationally. Because had they looked at this whole situation rationally, they would have also come to the same conclusion that this was always going to happen. But these are the same people who thought that Xbox was going to acquire Call of Duty, the best-selling game every year that makes $11 billion every year, then remove it from PlayStation, the platform where it probably sells the most copies, make it exclusive to Xbox, the platform where it sells probably the least copies, and then on top of that, put it day and date in Game Pass incentivizing the people on that platform to not buy it, ensuring it sells next to 0 copies. Like, who the fuck thought that that was ever actually going to happen? Oh, that's right, Xbox fanboys. But anytime you try to point this out to them, you just get fucking hit with, "You salty pony, you're just jealous that they're gonna make Call of Duty exclusive to the Xbox platform, and then PlayStation's gonna become third place." Right? It's like, no, dude. I don't give a fuck if they make Call of Duty exclusive. I think they should make it exclusive. It's theirs. Right? Go ahead, make that shit exclusive. I don't give a fuck. I play on all 3 consoles. Wherever that game is, if I give a fuck about playing it, guess what? I can play it. That's not why I'm saying this. I'm saying this because the scenario that you are envisioning in your head doesn't make any fucking sense. It makes 0 sense. Why? Because it would make 0 money. And they're not going to spend $70 billion to acquire a game to then go ahead and make sure it makes no fucking money. You don't understand, Pony. What's going to happen is they're going to put a day and date in Game Pass, and then everyone's going to sell their PS5s and buy an Xbox and sign up for Game Pass, and then they're going to make all the money. No, they're not. No, they're fucking not. And now you're seeing that they're not. Phil Spencer already said that Game Pass growth on console has pretty much hit a fucking brick wall. The only place that Game Pass is still kind of growing is on PC. And even there, it's not growing that much. It's not growing anywhere near as fast as they need it to. And they thought, oh, we're going to buy Bethesda and everyone's going to sign up for Game Pass. Didn't fucking happen. Then they thought, oh, we're going to buy Activision Blizzard. Then everyone's going to sign up for Game Pass. Didn't fucking happen. And if you think that they're going to put Call of Duty into Game Pass day and date in order to try to drive people to that subscription service, you're out of your fucking mind. They would lose an exorbitant amount of money trying to do that. And you know what? It wouldn't fucking work. So that shit was never going to happen. It was never, ever going to happen. And it's funny how when we said they're not going to make Call of Duty exclusive, and not only said that, explained logically why that would not be the case, you just get hit with fucking Pony this, Salty that, Damage Control this, Copium that. Like, I don't understand. And then on top of that, you have the math that just wasn't adding up to begin with, right? Like, Game Pass is $15 a month at, like, the highest tier. Most people are not paying for the highest tier. How many people have years of Game Pass that they got for $1 a month? Some people are getting deals at $5 or whatever. Like, not everyone's paying $15 a month. But even if they were all paying $15 a month, you have these big AAA games that are tens and tens of millions, and in some cases, hundreds of millions of dollars. You have Xbox having to pay out of pocket tens of millions of dollars and hundreds of millions of dollars to get third-party games into the service for people to just pay $15 a month. Like, the math didn't add up. Right? You look at something like Netflix. This is something I always say. You look at Netflix. Netflix is in debt. Netflix is not making money. And Netflix, very briefly, got to a point where they were no longer losing money. It was very, very brief. I think it lasted all of about a month or some shit like that a couple years ago. And in order to even get to that point, Netflix needed 220 million subscribers. 220 million for Netflix to no longer be in debt, which lasted all of about a month, and then they immediately went back into debt. Every subscription service is losing money. Name it, it's losing money. Max, losing money. Amazon Prime, losing money. Disney Plus, losing money. Netflix, losing money. And they all have way more subscribers than Game Pass does. Now, I don't know what the magic number is for Game Pass in order for it to be sustainable, right? Like, I don't know what the sub count needs to be in order for Game Pass to be generating profit and for them to be above water, right? All I know is that there's no fucking way in hell it's 35 million, G. Especially when a majority of that 35 million aren't even at the top tier, right? They're paying the least amount you could possibly pay. There's no fucking way that that's the number. Right? And we know that internally, I forgot when it happened, it may have been the FTC trials, but we saw internal documents that pretty much said that that's not the number, that the number is much higher than that, right? That they want to be up like at 80 million or some shit like that. Either way, the number they're at now ain't the fucking number. And sure, they may be gaining subscribers, right? The amount of subscribers in Game Pass may be growing, but it isn't growing fast enough. Not fast enough for it to make sense to put all this shit day and date in Game Pass. It just doesn't make sense. It never made sense. Unless they were at like 100 million subscribers where they were making profit all day long on Game Pass and they could take the financial hit in order to fucking put these games day and date, it doesn't make sense. And here's another problem. Because of Game Pass, Xbox has conditioned its user base to not want to buy games. They already were not buying games to begin with, right? That's why Game Pass was created to begin with. Xbox wasn't moving enough fucking software, so here comes Game Pass. But then Game Pass conditions their fucking user base to further not want to buy games and instead want everything day and date in Game Pass, right? Like, I understand, who wants to spend money? Nobody wants to spend money. Right? If you could get everything in life for free, of course you would want to get everything in life for free. But you also have to understand that when you want everything day and date in Game Pass because you're too fucking cheap to buy a fucking video game, because you want every single fucking game the Xbox is going to make in your fucking bullshit $15 a month subscription service, when that's what you want, this is what happens. Right? And again, you bring up these issues, you're like, well, how are they supposed to make money? Well, what do you have stock in the company? Are you on the board? Why are you worried about their money? I'm not worried about their money. I'm worried about their money because if the shit doesn't make sense, this is what happens, you fucking idiots. This is what happens. That's why I was worried about the money. Not because I was worried about Microsoft going out of business. Of course it's not going to go out of business. They're a fucking $1 trillion company. And they don't make all their money from the gaming division. If the Xbox gaming division disappeared tomorrow, Microsoft would still be a fucking $1 trillion company. Right? They make their money from all the other shit. I wasn't worried about Microsoft going out of business. I wasn't worried about them losing money. I was worried about the financial sustainability of this particular business model because it didn't make fucking sense to me. And when I looked at it, I said the only way this works is if either A, they get Game Pass on everything, on every platform, which means Game Pass on PlayStation and Nintendo as well. That's never happening. B, the budgets to the games that we're getting, and I say we because I am also an Xbox gamer, the budgets to the games that we're getting take a massive hit because Xbox isn't going to pay tens and tens of millions of dollars, and in some cases hundreds of millions of dollars, for budgets for games that will not earn their budgets back because they're day and date and subscription service. Or C, they go full third party and put their games everywhere, but still put those games day and date in the subscription service on their platform. Since they can't get Game Pass into Nintendo and they can't get Game Pass into PlayStation, what they do is they sell their games on PlayStation and Nintendo. At least that way they're still selling their games, right? They're still making money selling the games. At the same time, they're saying, listen, you can continue to pay full price for those games there, or if you come over here to Xbox and Game Pass, you no longer have to pay full price for those games. Again, like Xbox loves to give you options. You can pay full price there, or you can come here and just get Game Pass. But in the event that we don't sign up for Game Pass, they're still selling to us on the other platforms. They're still recuperating some of the money for those budgets. Those were the three options. There was no fucking way it was going to work any other way. If you honestly thought that they were just going to put every single fucking game day and date in Game Pass, you thought you're going to get Doom day and date in Game Pass? You think you're getting Call of Duty day and date in Game Pass? You think you're going to get all these fucking games, every single IP, that Xbox now owns day and date and Game Pass and exclusive. You guys were out of your fucking minds. It does not make sense. It never made sense. Never made sense. And while Phil may love Xbox, Satya Nadella doesn't give two flying fucks. He's like, yo, where's the money? Where's the money, Philly Spence? You came here and you gave me the world's greatest blowjob to not shut Xbox down a couple years ago. Right? Satya blew a load down fucking Philly Spence's throat and said, all right, Philly Spence, I will allow you to keep Xbox open and we'll do what you say, right? We'll do Game Pass. We'll buy all these publishers because you say this is going to work. All right, I'll give you a shot. Now, here we are all these years later. And while Philly Spence may still say, yo, we need to do this, we need to do that, Satya don't give a fuck. Satya's like, yo, I blew my load down your throat, allowed you to keep this shit open. Now I want to know, when am I making my money back? I spent $80 billion blowing my load down your throat. When am I making my money back? That's all he gives a shit about. And another point to think about, and again, something that I and others said months ago. If Microsoft's ambition is really acquiring more publishers, right? If they just want to keep swallowing publishers and just become this massive, massive entity, this massive, giant publisher in the industry, if that is legitimately their goal, then the easiest way for them to accomplish that goal is to go full third party. Why? All that shit they had to deal with the FTC when they tried to get the ABK deal approved, that shit goes away. That shit never happens again. The FTC is not going to bust their balls and come at them sideways with any bullshit, because they're going to be like, what are you talking about? We play nice with everybody. PlayStation gets our games, Nintendo gets our games, PC gets our games, and we get our games. We put our shit everywhere, baby. This is how Microsoft can then go acquire whatever publisher they want, and no one's going to object to it, because they're now a third-party publisher. And they could then become, if they're not already, the largest third-party publisher in the industry. And then Microsoft and Xbox will actually, if you look at it that way, become one of the most powerful entities in gaming. They would be massively powerful if they became the largest third-party publisher in all of gaming. Right? And I understand Xbox fanboys fucking getting pissed off and not liking these. I get it. Because you want to validate your purchase. I totally understand that, and I feel the same way, right? It's like, yo, I bought this machine because of the promise you made to me that I could only play these things here. That's why I bought this machine. And if those things go other places, then why the fuck did I buy this machine? It's the same way I felt when PlayStation started putting this shit on PC, right? It's like, well, hold on. I bought a PS5 because I was told this is where you have to go if you want to play God of War. This is where you have to go if you want to play Ratchet and Clank. This is where you have to go if you want to play Spider-Man. Right? That was the understanding when they sold us these consoles. Now, to put the shit on PC, I understand, yes, they're going to make more money doing that. Yes, that's more money for more games. I understand the upside for the company. But at the same time, it's like, listen, you sold me on this idea that this was the only place to play these games, and that's why I invested $500 in your fucking machine. I get that mentality, I understand it, and I share that mentality. Yes, I'm the same way. This is one of the reasons that me and others try to ring these fucking alarm bells to you guys, that this is what's going to happen. If this is the path that we stay on, this is the outcome. And I don't think this is the outcome that you or I want. I mean, obviously it's not the outcome that you want, because you're fucking melting down all over the fucking internet. Now, I'm not melting down. But it's not because I'm happy about this or this news makes me happy. No, I didn't want Xbox to go full third party. The reason I'm not melting down is because I knew this was coming. I fucking was saying that this is what's going to happen 3 fucking years ago. I knew this was an inevitability. if this was the path that we stayed on. So I'm not losing my mind over this shit because I already fucking knew this was happening. It was just a matter of when. When was it going to happen? When was it going to catch up, right? Like at a certain point, the bill comes due, right? And right now, the bill is due. Because up to this point, to put an analogy on this, up to this point, Xbox has been like that guy at the bar that just buying fucking drinks for everybody, right? Oh, excuse me, shot of whiskey for the gentleman at the end of the bar, right? Alabama Slammer to the two bitches with the huge tits over there. Some Jaeger bombs for that sexy-ass Asian bitch over there. Just buying rounds for everybody. And then at the end of the night, the bill comes due. And the bartender goes, okay, you owe us, let me see here, $15,000. And the guy goes, holy shit. The bill has come due. Right? They spent $80 billion acquiring publishers and studios and IP in the hopes that it would generate traffic to Game Pass. It didn't. This was after they had already spent $8 billion, or whatever the fuck it was, to acquire Bethesda, hoping to generate traffic to Game Pass. It didn't. Right? Yeah, they saw a bump from Starfield. Sure. Was it enough? No. They also aren't going to put all their games day and date in Game Pass and just take the hit forever. Could they take the hit for a while? Sure. And that's what's been happening all these years, is they've been doing all this shit at a loss, trying to make it work, trying to get it to be sustainable. Microsoft has basically been footing the bill for Xbox, trying to make it work. It isn't working. And now the bill has come due. And people like Satya don't have an emotional attachment to Xbox or the brand or the console or the publishers. He doesn't give a fuck. Satya has an emotional attachment to results. Satya has an emotional attachment to money. He doesn't give a fuck what has to happen over in Xbox land. All he gives a fuck is, are the results positive? And is it making us money? If that means going full third party, he doesn't care. That's not bad news for him. That's good news for him, right? If he goes, oh, you're going to go full third party and put our games everywhere and start selling our games on PlayStation and Nintendo as well, fine, do it. If that means that the results are going to be positive and we're going to make money, do it. I don't give a shit. As a matter of fact, for all we know, he's the one making them do this. I mean, we don't know. I can speculate that that's what's happening. But this is where we are. The bill has come due. This experiment was a failure. Could it have worked? Sure. It could have worked. Absolutely. But Xbox would need over double the amount of Game Pass subscribers that it has right now. Over double. And even then, would it be working? Maybe. But with the count they have now, does not work. This experiment was a failure. They gave it a nice try, right? They gave it a shot. Didn't work. Didn't work. And yes, I know it's going to suck for you to see your games go to other platforms. Of course it's going to suck, right? You don't want to see your first-party games going to fucking PlayStation, going to Nintendo. And I feel you on that. I would feel the same way if Super Mario came to PlayStation and God of War went to Xbox. I feel you on that. But at least, and this is a small consolation prize, at least you still have access to your games. At least you're going to still see the games and franchises that you love get made. Right? Like, if this is what has to happen for Xbox, the brand, to continue moving forward, for you to continue to get the IP and games that you love, I mean, what's the alternative? The alternative is Xbox just goes away, and now the franchises and IP that you love, just gone. Those games don't get made anymore. You like the Forza Horizon games, or they're gone, they don't get made anymore. You like Gears is dead. You like Halo's dead. right? Like, would you prefer that those franchises and IP die along with the brand? Or would you prefer that the brand branch out, go third party, put their games on other platforms, but at least the brand and the franchises and IP that you love endure? And I'm not saying that you should be happy about that. Like, I understand that obviously you're not going to be happy about that, but of the two options, if the option is the brand and those IP die, or the brand and that IP go third party, shit, dude, I'm taking third party. If someone gave me a choice, an A or B choice of, would you rather PlayStation go full third party, or would you rather PlayStation, the brand, and all the franchises and IP that they have die, I would say, fuck it, go third party. Because I still want to see Uncharted games. I still want to see God of War games. I want to see whatever's going to come next from these fucking studios. So again, consolation prize. I understand it's not much, but it is what it is. And you not being mentally prepared for this moment in time is your own fucking fault, because I and others tried to prepare you for this, tried to help you understand that this is what's coming. And it didn't take a fucking fortune teller with a crystal ball to see that this was always going to be the inevitable outcome of the current path that Xbox was on, unless they saw a exponentially massive bump to Game Pass subs. Unless that happened, which it didn't, this was always going to be what happened. Now, and look, again, this is all rumors. Maybe none of this is happening. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and when it's all said and done, Xbox will say, nope, everything's still saying exclusive, and I'm going to look like a complete asshole. Total possibility, and if that happens, whatever, it happens. But if the rumors are true, and again, it feels like that's kind of what's going on here, tried to tell you, it's the only thing that logically made sense. Logically, the scenario that you're seeing in your head never made sense to me. Not with the current path that Xbox is on. Not because I'm a fanboy, not because I'm a pony, but because looking at it logically, it didn't make sense. If PlayStation were to put all its first-party games day and date in PS Plus, I don't think that would make sense either. Because there's no way they're making back their $300 million budget of Spider-Man 2 when everyone just gets it with PS Plus. Doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense for them. It didn't make sense for Xbox. It is what it is, guys, right? Like, whatever happens, it happens. And if they go full third party, just roll with the punches, guys. At least the brand that you love is not dead, right? And if anything, it'll be stronger than ever. It really will be. It would be stronger than ever. People keep saying, oh, Xbox is going the way of Sega. No. Because Sega, when it exited the console space, shrank. Right? When Sega became just a publisher, it shrank. If Xbox were to go third party, it wouldn't be shrinking. It would actually be extending and becoming larger as Microsoft acquires even more publishers and brings more publishers into the Xbox umbrella, to the Xbox Game Studios family. Xbox going third party is not the same as when Sega went third party, because Sega shrank when it went third party. Xbox would be growing when it goes third party. Big difference between the two scenarios. Big difference between what the two companies are doing. So while people are saying, oh, Xbox is going to go to the way of Sega, it's not the way of Sega. It's not even close to the way of Sega. Well, are they both going to be third party? Yes. But not even close to being the same. But anyway, there's really not much more I can say on this topic that I haven't already said in this fucking video. I don't want to keep repeating myself, or that you're not hearing from everybody online, right? Like, we tried to tell you, you didn't want to listen, you wanted to be cheap fucks, and this is what happens. It is what it is. That's all I got for you guys on this one. And that's the video, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys on the next Supernova.